So first off, congrats to Genshin Impact for winning Best Mobile Game, and because of this win, Mohel is going to be giving away a free 10 pull over the course of 4 days, starting on December 11th, running to December 14th, so be sure to log in and get your 10 pull for future banners. So are supports in Genshin becoming too niche? And what I mean by this is when we look at examples like Xingqiu, Bennett, Zhongling, Kazuha, or even Albedo, just for example, they're generally really good supports that are flexible to just about any team comp. While I do like when characters have niches that make them shine even brighter, I feel that isn't the case anymore. As much as I love Kujou Sara, she feels not only very gated by constellations, but also, while a good general buffer, she doesn't truly shine unless she's C6 in an Electro carry team comp, since she does give that crazy 60% crit damage to Electro damage. Toma, I thought was going to be a great shielding support, but again, he's kinda gated by constellations, specifically his C6, and the only noteworthy character to run him with is Hu Tao, and again, that's limiting to his team comps he can run in because he's only really benefiting Hu Tao. And then Goro, who I think is probably one of the worst niches, because Goro needs to have a team comp of 3 Geo characters before his buff really does anything good, since at 1 Geo unit, which is himself, he gives the team a defense bonus, and at 2, increased resistance to interruption, and at 3, he gives the buff of additional Geo damage bonus. So honestly, outside of a mono Geo comp, Goro is pretty useless, because no one benefits from defense besides Geo characters and Xinyan. Again, I love when characters have niches, such as Albedo scaling off defense instead of attack, primarily Xinyan being a physical damage dealer that scales off defense, and all the other defense scaling Geo characters that are coming up, Goro, Ito, and of course you can't forget about Noelle. But while I love characters with niches, I don't understand why they feel so useless outside of that niche, while Bennett and Albedo can basically be slotted into literally any team in the game and do their job not only well, but in an extremely high tier. It definitely doesn't help that they're also kind of power gated by the constellations, which I fear is going to be a common trend with new upcoming 4 stars, because 4-star constellations are impossible to manipulate. You got pity on a 5-star, right? You have pity on 5 stars. You don't have pity on 4 stars. You're guaranteed a 4-star every 10 pull, but you're not guaranteed any sort of pity to a banner 4-star. You could be like me, and I've wished at least 30 wishes on every single banner that has Sucrose on it since I've started playing, so like 5 or so banners now, and I only have one. Just one. So with that luck on new 4-star supports that are poor at C0, that leaves me pretty worried about how 4 stars are going to be in the future. And no, not all characters need to be on Bennett level of busted, but I just want them not gated by at least their C6 or forced to play in a certain way, because when characters like Goro basically read, hey, use 3 Geo units in a team or I'm literally useless, then that really destroys the idea of the game being a team builder. Like, is it still a team builder truly when we're already having to manipulate our teams around Spiral Abyss floors and non-flexible units? But we have to cover all elements to take care of shields and resistance in Spiral Abyss. Yeah, you're right, but this brings up an issue that plagues a lot of the game, and that's resin. What do I mean by this? Well, newer players don't have enough resources to have characters of every element built. Well, cause let's face it, artifacts are an absolute crapshoot with RNG, and you could spend 60 resin and get 3 best rolling best in slot pieces, or you can spend 5,000 resin and not see a single decent 4 set. And with that in mind, you bring in these non-flexible units, and now you invest your account into Geo because you really love Goro and want to use him, but again, he's worthless outside of Geo comp because they literally designed him to only work with Geo, but now that you're so invested in Geo, there are Geo Spectres on both sides of a Spiral Abyss floor. Now this hasn't happened, and this is just an example, but with that there, all that resin you used into that Geo team comp is literally absolutely wasted now, since you can't deal Geo damage to Geo elemental creatures like the Spectres and the Slimes. So you gotta hope Geo is better for another half, or it's just gonna be rough. And I don't like that, because we should be able to make team comps to build around characters we really enjoy. But again, if you don't have 3 Geo, then you're kind of screwed with Goro. Like, honestly, I just really, really hope they don't continue this trend of super niche supports like Goro, because they're, again, just useless outside of 3 Geo. At least Sarah can give a decent buff to other units. I mean, sure, Electro's going to get way more benefit from her at C6, but at least she isn't useless if she's just tacked into another team comp, because she's still going to give you an attack buff. And Goro's buffs themselves aren't super substantial. I mean, sure, Ito, Albedo, Noel, and Goro himself all benefit from defense, but forcing us into a mono element pretty much just feels really bad, at least to me. It's okay if you want to run a mono comp, like that is perfectly fine, but when the mono comp is Geo and it can't at least even swirl with the busted Verdescent Venerare set, it just feels really weird. All I want from Mihoyo is for them to make their 4-star supports more flexible units like they were in the past, and to let us explore more teams to potentially mix up some Spiral Abyss air quotes meta, or at least make some fun combinations. Because when characters are that pigeonholed into, I have to fill this niche or I don't do anything, like the Goro, I beat that horse dead this video, it just leaves so much to be desired, because there's so little the character can do outside of what they were designed to do. Which sounds dumb, but it's just, I like flexibility. That's why Jean is one of my favorite characters. She can go anywhere. She does damage, she does healing, she's support, she's a carry, she just does everything, and I love that. But what are your thoughts on super niche supports? Let me know in the comments below, and if you guys would be kind enough to leave a like on the video or sub to the channel, it helps me grow, it helps me get noticed by YouTube Senpai, and I would really appreciate it a ton. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.